Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Script Supervisor Power Hour. It says I'm live on, oh, hey, now I'm also live on Instagram. Okay, sorry for the lateness. I forgot I had also promised to go live on Instagram, so I had to race and get my tripod. Welcome. Sorry, this is my second live today. I was live with my writers a couple of hours ago, and then I taught a class, and here I am. I didn't get a lot of I didn't actually get any questions. We have like a zillion hallelujahs. Sorry, I just, the Instagram camera went, hi, oh, hi, que brava. We have a veteran script supervisor who just popped in. Nice to see you. Also, we've got a couple of people great here on, I'll make my comments visible. If you type something in the chat, I can, I'm going back and forth between two cameras here. Okay, so for those who don't know who I am Daniela Saioni, and I train script supervisors. I've been a script supervisor for 35 years, and I have students in 30 countries, a lot of 30s in that sentence, but that's just been life this year. It's my 30th anniversary of teaching script supervisors. I do a weekly live with my students continuously in the program, which is people can join continuously from wherever they are in the world. But once a month, it's been a couple of months since we did our last one, but once a month, I like to go live to the whole world and take your questions from wherever you may be in the world. Your questions on script supervision. Miguel, oh, hi, Miguel. Yes, Miguel from the UK, Spain. You're so nice. You always come to these. I really appreciate it, because Miguel's not even one of my students. It's nice. We have a lot of hallelujahs to start with, so I want to start with those. So in my program, and in life, I just like to celebrate wins, you know, especially in times, in the kinds of years we've had in the last couple of years have been hairy, to say the least. But we like to keep going and persevere, and it's getting back to good times in terms of times where we can actually work and find really, really fun work. So first I want to do the hallelujahs of people who graduated this week, because we had we had a whole bunch this week, and let me start with them. Congratulations and hallelujah to Irena Guisara in Argentina. It's been a really hard year for the film business in Argentina, but Irena graduated the program. Hi, hello, sorry, hello from Indonesia. I'm a script supervisor for film, TV, soaps, advert. I want to know how to become a script supervisor in Hollywood. I have a student in Indonesia. She won a scholarship with me last year. Oh, thank you, whoever Squeeze Left is. Thank you, someone said. You're lovely. Thank you. But yes, the Irena I'll get to that question. That's a really good question, and I actually have an answer for you, but let me continue with the hallelujah. So Irena in Argentina graduated, hallelujah. She's already started the job search all over. She's, by the way, my first graduate in South America. Woohoo! We have grads in the Caribbean, in Mexico, obviously all over the world, but she is my first graduate of the program in South America. I have another student, Keiko, in Colombia, but she still hasn't finished the program. In Keiko's case, she works a lot, so she's taken her time to finish. But that's a huge thank you, Irena. Thank you for doing the work and for finishing. And Julie Webb in Bozeman, Montana graduated this week. Hallelujah. Julie, when she joined the program, not even a full year ago, she joined it because she was going on to her first feature as a script supervisor. So she had to train. This happens sometimes where people are like, I have a job, now I better learn the job. So as she said, it's super scary, but I'm like, oh no. I mean, it is super scary when you do that before the training, but you're so ready. You're Bozeman's finest, Julie. I'm so proud of you, so happy for you. Hallelujah to Eddie Meakin in Nottingham, UK. I sat across the table from Eddie this summer when I was in doing a meetup in London, where the majority of my students are in London. I sat across the table from Eddie. When was that, Eddie? June? Second week of June? Something like that. And he's graduated already. And another hallelujah from Eddie. He's done his first paid gig in script supervision. He said it's the highest paid work he's done yet because he's been in locations and PA and AD. So congratulations, Eddie. So proud of you for graduating so fast. And actually, everyone, but Eddie also, being so new, he did the homework so well, so well. So congratulations on that. Paige Glover in Texas, hallelujah. Thank you for doing the work. Paige is an experienced script supervisor in Texas who came to me when she first got a mini program I have called script supervising TV series. It's called A Big Role for the Small Screen. Now don't, you can certainly DM me. It's okay. People DM me all the time. Just so you guys know, my mom is in the hospital, so I have to, I won't be able to like stay on much longer than the hour, but yes, and she's across town. I'm in Toronto, Canada, by the way, for those who don't know. I jump around all the time, but because I have students everywhere and I work everywhere. But right now I'm in Toronto, Canada. Okay, so and Zelda, you in Toronto graduated. Hallelujah. So Paige was experienced when she met me. Zelda, you met me when you were in film school, right? There's a whole range of people in the program. I'm so proud of all of you. I know it took me a while to get back to everybody's homework because everything I've been going through with my mom, but thank you for your patience. I'm so happy that your Director Whisperers newly minted. And then we have a whole bunch of work hallelujahs as well, but I just wanted to acknowledge them first because it took me so long. By the way, if you submitted homework to me and you're in my program and I haven't gotten back to you, can you reach out? Because I got hundreds of emails a day, and if I missed you, it's not on purpose. I'm not ignoring you on purpose. I actually believe I'm caught up on the homework from the last couple of months. Okay. So work hallelujahs. Am I on a show? No, I wrapped a show. I only do like a couple of shows a year, as I often, that's been my strategy since I was in my late 30s because I'm a screenwriter as well. So I only do script supervise half the year. And I finished my second show of the year on September 26th. So I had a few days of wrap after that, like of wrapping out because it was a limited series for Netflix. And by the way, I have a hallelujah to me because the show I did earlier this year is premiering on November 12th. It's called A Merry Little Xmas on Netflix. It was really fun. The trailer looks like they didn't use the darkest humor. I hope they kept the darkest humor in the movie. It's really funny. It's Alicia Silverstone, Oliver Hudson, Jamila Jamil, and Pearson Firode. Oh my God, wait till you see this guy. So hilarious. And I mean, the whole movie's great. And our director, shout out to our director, Stephen Carr. Wonderfully, you guys know I'm a comedy script supervisor, and I was in my happy place on that movie for sure. I highly recommend. I haven't seen the final cut, but if even half of if you can laugh half as much as we laughed on set, it will be a good experience. Okay. Oh, no problem. Send me the message, Nadut, and I will. And watch the replay of this. So I'll give you your answer to the Hollywood question, and then you can DM me if you want to. I just might not be able to answer your DM right away. That is all. What else? Okay, work hallelujahs. Karen Gagne Signorello. Hallelujah, Karen. She's one of my A-listers. I'll tell you about A-listers today, but Karen was in my A-listers last year, as well as in my Director Whisperer program. And she was trying to manifest a union show, and she got her union show last month. She got into Local 161 in New York a few months ago and finally got an actual union show to work on, a feature, hallelujah. And then she got asked to do a feature right after that. So she was on location in Buffalo, New York, and she stayed on for 2 in a row. That was a big, big, awesome win. That show shot in Canada. Yes. So yes, we shot that one in Toronto, actually north of Toronto, but yes, it was a very cold winter. It was a Christmas movie. Janie Karaya, Janie in London, one of my young students who I sat across the table from at our London meetup, but she had finished the program before that, got her first feature. And Janie didn't mention this, but someone else mentioned it to me that it's in Greece. So Janie's working on location in Greece, allegedly. Hallelujah, Janie. Whether you're in Greece or not, I'm so happy that you got your first feature. That's a lovely, as you guys know, often I talk about the breakthrough levels of a career, and getting your first feature is that first breakthrough level for sure, or first TV series, but it usually is a first feature. Hallelujah to Virginie Guillemin in London as well. I mean, she's had a whole bunch of hallelujahs this year, but recently she got some dailies on Apple Plus TV series on some HETV work. So she's moving on up. Do you allow grads who are local to Canada to shadow you, or do your shows permit? So in Canada, I'm a union member, so I'm an IATSE member. We don't have a shadowing program. And so I used to, for the first 12 years of my career, I always had a shadow trainee with me on set. It became almost impossible to do that on a liability level after 2001. Production stopped allowing it. You can get to shadow people if there's a specific program. So NABET 700 in Ontario does have a shadowing apprenticeship program. We don't have that in IATSE, unfortunately. And a few of my alumni have done that. I've had at least 3 alumni do that, a NABET program. What else? So your best bet is to find someone who's on a non-union show, but even then you have to get the permission of the production, sometimes the studio and network if they're involved, because sometimes I've gotten production's permission if someone was, so a way to get on is if you're on the show anyway, so they don't have to have an additional liability for a new member. So occasionally I've been able to get that kind of permission, but then the studio would veto it for other reasons. So it's hard, especially after COVID. During COVID, having extra bodies on set, it made it even harder. So shadowing is a whole Megillah. It's a whole hard thing to do nowadays, which is why I've been, I mean, since it really started happening in 2001, I don't know why, it was sort of tied in with 9/11. Oh, and if you're saying like as a foreigner, if you're a foreigner and you want to shadow someone in Canada, volunteer work is also stuff that you have to get a work permit for. So just know that. Same with me. If I go to the US, I have to get a work permit even if I'm volunteering. So be careful of that. Just so you know, like don't get caught. More work hallelujahs. Katarina in Belgrade. Katarina Zivanovic. I don't know if I said it right, but I know Katarina. I did a meetup in Zagreb last year, and I spent one of the days with Katarina, who's lovely. She's in my new A-listers program too. But Katarina has a hallelujah. She's just graduated the National Drama School for producing, and she is also on a Serbian-Greek-Canadian co-production in Serbia. Hallelujah. Dora Sarkozy in Budapest, hallelujah. She just had a killer. She has not stopped this year. She has been on work back to back to back, and she just wrapped up a feature being directed by Emily Mortimer, which is awesome. And she has a really, really big interview. So like, hallelujah to you. Elena Landy, she didn't reach out to me. She tagged me in a post on Instagram. Elena's in LA, and she was on her very first short. So hallelujah to you. And in Toronto, Derek Ho finished his first short film as a script supervisor, and it got into the Real Asian Film Festival. I think it's called Mixed Feelings. Congratulations and hallelujah to Derek. Did I miss anyone? I told you about Eddie. Oh, Eddie Meekin. I told you when he graduated, he already got his first paid gig. There's more, but I think those are the ones who and I have other kinds of. Can I recommend? People ask for my grads all the time. Just reach out to me. There's a form that I get you guys to fill out. If you're a producer, or usually producers or PMs or directors, right? Asking for my grads, or do directors prefer to choose their own scripty? Please don't call me scripty. It's my pet peeve. A scripty with a Y. I know it's like industry wide. I can't stand it. It's very, very, very infantilizing. And I understand there's a program that, we love Anthony, who created the program called Script E with the letter E, but Script E with a Y is super infantilizing. Directors ultimately hire their own script supervisor, but producers will put the 3 people in front of them who the director will interview. That's the average way it's done. I know sometimes in non-union, it's like whoever's available. But so what producers and line producers, production managers, directors do is they'll reach out to me, and I'll send them a form to fill in with like just details of the shoot, where, when. And sometimes, most often, because I'm in Toronto and because producers just know me, they're in Canada. But sometimes we get, sometimes I had had a random one from LA like 2 years ago because someone saw me on YouTube and they're like, and I have a ton of students in LA, of course, and grads in LA. So yeah, just I'll email you the form to fill out, and then I'll post it in my private alumni group. So when people graduate, they get access to those gigs. We can talk about the hiring process for script supervisors. I just want to finish the hallelujahs because they're still coming. Sydney Condress, one of my OG script supervision alumni from before I even called the program director whisperer. Sydney, A, she's currently on the new Star Trek series, hallelujah to you, but B, she started the Canadian Script Supervisors Network. So if you see it, she's posted it around on different groups. Join it. Sydney's amazing. She's a leader. She had an Ontario, and I think she still has the Ontario Script Supervisors Network. She is like the head of our women's committee in IATSE. She's a wonderful script supervisor. Great work. And speaking of other trailblazers who are graduates of my program, Jessica Leander in Sweden is hosting a convention for script supervisors internationally tomorrow. It's online. Towards the end, I'll post the links to where you can register and sign up. It's an all-day event starting at noon Toronto time, so 9 a.m. LA time, and 5 and 6 p.m. in UK and Europe. And she's got a whole programming lineup for the whole day. So hallelujah, Jessica. I've curated and produced online virtual events before, not for script supervisors, but for my corporate, my artists. I train artists how to work in online business. So I know how much work it is and how many organizational skills you need to have, which Jessica certainly has. Congratulations, Jessica. I'm so I'll be popping in and out because like I said, my mom's in the hospital. I don't know how long I'll be able to stay, but I really applaud you for getting that done. I made short links. Actually, let me just see if I can post one of the short links so that if you haven't registered, there we go. So this is Jessica's convention tomorrow, bit.ly/SS convention. I know that sounds terrible. We'll hold the last question till you're done with hallelujahs. Am I done with hallelujah? I mean, this was like the biggest one because she's got a whole convention happening tomorrow. If you are available tomorrow, I don't know why the banner's so big. It's like dwarfing me, but anyway, bit.ly/SS convention, and I'll post it again towards the end. Okay. Hallelujah to the Blue Jays in the World Series. There's this hilarious back and forth going on between Governor Newsom and our crappy premier, our premier Doug Ford. It's really funny though, I have to say. I'm not a baseball person, but I'm just so excited. Like Toronto's on fire because of this Blue Jays thing. First of all, I had a question. I grabbed a question from the International Script Supervisors group on Facebook. Sarah Guadira, hope I'm saying her name right, asked how you slate wild tracks in the US system. It's interesting. So wild tracks, for those who don't know, are sound only. So there's two different major ways that we slate picture when it's US system or UK system. But wild tracks, there's a couple of different options. And Sarah, I would confirm with your sound mixer. I would confirm with them like how they want it slated. But for example, two of the most common ways, back in the day when I started in 1991, we would do it. We would start with 1001. So WT 1001 would be the first wild track, a US system or not. We work in both systems in Canada, and the way that sound is labeled is not so much a function of US or UK system. It's a function of the sound mixer's preference, or if the post supervisor has a preference, but it's usually the sound mixer. So the old school way is 1001, 1002, 1003, and you keep like a running list, WT 1001, you keep a running list of wild tracks of what they all are. A way that I've also seen a lot is you take the scene number. So let's say the scene is 35 and the very first wild track, let's say it's a sound effect or if it's room tone or whatever the case may be, 3501. And then let's say you're in scene 35 and they want to get like some wild, like door slamming, I don't know, some other sound effect, 3502. And in the notes, you would put what it is, what sound roll it's on, what, yeah, those are the two most common ways. And there are still other ways that sound people have come up with. So just really, Sarah, check with your sound mixer and help them, keep them honest in terms of what's our next wild track number. If they let you choose, you get to choose. Those are the two most common ways I've seen anyway. Okay, that was the first question. And then our question from Indonesia. If you're in Indonesia and you want to become a Hollywood script supervisor, what do you do? Well, first of all, my student in Indonesia told me something shocking. I'm blanking on her name. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm blanking on your name. She told me something super shocking, which was that in Indonesia, we're part of the video playback department. Yeah. So I've had students in different countries tell me different things about what we're expected to do in their country. The most shocking before that was that in Nigeria, we slate as well, right? We actually physically slate and do the continuity. That was a shock to me until I heard the story in Indonesia. My student there told me the department is big, like there's 4 or 5 of you in Indonesia, but you're setting up monitors and there's not really a respect for what the actual role of the script supervisor is there. Do you have to document room tone? Farah, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Any wild track, room tone, it gets a slate, whichever way you decide to slate. Room tone, voiceover, wild lines, like sound effects, anything sound. Sometimes it's music playback. If they play back a song in a scene, and even if it's a guide track for the editor, we give it a slate number so that they can find it. We can find it in our notes. Good question. What was I saying? So she also told me that a lot of Hollywood films do shoot in Indonesia. So I have on my YouTube channel, I have a talk called I have 2 talks relating to this. One is called Script Supervision Without Borders, and it was the earliest talk I did on finding work internationally. And then I elaborated on it a little more earlier this year with a talk called Finding Work Internationally as a Script Supervisor. Basically, you want to get high-level training. If you're going to be on a Hollywood show, get high-level training. So there's a few of us that do it. Don Gilliam, myself, and Randy Feldman. And there's a few people in the UK who have like fully comprehensive courses that are industry standard to Hollywood. Oh my God, I forgot a big one. I forgot a big hallelujah. Ada Sakura and Vaiva Assolini. They just worked on the biggest Marvel film feature to shoot in the UK. Vaiva was the full-time trainee script supervisor. Hallelujah, Vaiva. That's quite wonderful that you got that experience. And Ada has actually script supervised on Marvel shows and been an assistant on Marvel shows, but she was an assistant script supervisor working with Vaiva. So it was like, that's beautiful. So that was a big one. Nadut DM'd. Okay, great. Do you give scholarships to students? Yes, exactly. Absolutely, Surya. I have, so every year, and actually I should announce that because it's coming up. Around December 1st, I put out a call internationally for scholarships, and it's much easier to win the scholarship if you are from an underrepresented community, especially if you're living in a third world nation. That's how a lot of my students in Africa got in. Nepal, perfect example. Yes. So when I make that call for scholarships, it will be December 1st. Send me an email. I'll give you guys my email to send me an email, a short one, just telling me about you. Where do you live? Why do you want to be a script supervisor? Or if you are already a script supervisor, what do you love about script supervision? It's really based strongly on financial need. I get a lot of war refugees winning that scholarship, but it's important that we acknowledge the imbalances internationally. And I understand, like someone wrote to me from Nigeria, and she said, that the cost of your course, so the cost of my course is a day and a half of work for me. So I earn that in a day and a half. Yes, I also, by the way, do, I have, Dawn and I are at that level in terms of the kind of comprehensive nature of the course. Dawn's is great. I heard Randy's was great, and I know mine is great. No, I'm joking, but I have been teaching for 30 years. So I put us all in a similar level because actually we share a lot of students. I have a lot of alumni from all three who have done all 3 programs, which is amazing. But they said that we they got something different from all of us. So that's cool. That's super cool. But no, what was I saying? So with the scholarship, it's equal parts your love of your passion for script supervision, or why you want to become a script supervisor, and but heavily into financial need. Because as I said, in North America, what I earn in a day and a half is what the cost of the course is, and what non-union script supervisors earn in like 4 days is about the cost of the course. And it's interesting because it's not just the course. Like, people are with me for life after that. They can come to my private my weekly live Zooms for life after that. So it's a lifelong supporting program. And then I have other programs beyond that for coaching people through the various higher stages of their career. Because I've been script supervising for 35 years, I'm able to coach people at really all different levels of the business. And I have a bunch of alumni who also became directors. So I coach people into that transition as well. So yeah, seek out high-level training. The person in Nigeria who wrote to me, she said, that may be a day and a half of work for you, but that's $1 million in Nigeria, which, like, I understand. Listen, I understand. So one of I normally give away, well, I always say I'm going to give away 3 spots, and then I end up giving away more. But one of the 3 spots is always for someone in Nollywood. So someone in Nigeria where they work at breakneck paces, and the cost of the earnings are so low. So I always reserve 1 scholarship for Nollywood, and it's a big kind of town. If I can't find anyone in Nigeria, then it will be someone in Africa, right? But I've had multiple people write to me from Nollywood. So at least one of the 3 spots goes to them. In the past, I have had some North Americans get into that scholarship, but it's really tough because you're competing with literally people who the cost of the program would be unthinkable. But I would encourage everyone who needs financial aid to apply and is interested in that program, especially if you're if you're sure you want to, or you're really, really interested in learning script supervision. People take my course even if they want to be producers or directors, and that's a real testament to them, because you're going to be a good producer if you're learning your job and also learning everyone else's job at the same time. I applaud that. But most of my students are career script supervisors, and they're out there representing and working. So yes, what else? Okay. Okay, so those are the hallelujahs. So Indonesia, you were asking me how you break into Hollywood. Get Hollywood level training. At the very least, they'll recognize that it's all in English. All of the 3 teachers I mentioned, and there are more, are all in English. So they'll have at least some sense that your English is at a level, if the films are in English, which if they're Hollywood, I'm assuming they're going to be in English. You'll see on my YouTube channel, even on my Instagram, on my YouTube channel, I have a whole reel. I started to collect testimonials, and one of my students, Dora, who's like the rock star in Budapest, production assistant says, it sounds like if you recommend a grad of yours to a director, they might bring them on. Well, they'll at least get interviewed. If they're specifically reaching out to me, they know the quality of the grads. So so what I tell people is, if you're out there without training and you're competing against someone who has full training, and both people don't have a lot of experience, the training is what's going to make the difference, right? So at least that's sort of it'll at least ease the producer's mind or the director's mind that this person has at least understands what's going on. And if they've done like a comprehensive program like Don's, like Randy's, like mine, if there's any others that you guys recommend, let me know. But those are the 3 that I share my top students with, so I know that they're all good. They'll have that that's going to make a big difference on paper for sure. And then they'll bring probably, if they have at least 3 applicants, then they'll interview them, and then it will be based on the personal chemistry. There is a mini course I have called How to Interview Your Director and Land the Gig. It was the first mini course I ever offered. It's like I shot it in 2020, something like that. Because normally you have to take my whole program, but then I started putting out these mini courses that solve specific problems, and that one is is so popular because the director whisperers get those for free, but the people who are not in my program would write to me and go, oh my God, I watch it before every interview because it puts me in the right headspace. So so I know that that one works too. One of, we all have different strengths and weaknesses. One of my superpowers as a script supervisor is if they're putting me up for an interview, I'm probably getting the job. It's like 9 out of 10. Like my record was really, really high. Even when I was younger and I was competing with more seasoned script supervisors, if I was one of the 3 they brought in, chances were high. And I had this whole method, which I teach in that little, just a 1-hour class. I think it's on my Linktree. I usually keep that one up on my Linktree because everyone asks about it. So yeah, they're not going to automatically hire someone based on the resume, but it will get you in the door. Speaking of resume, I'll get to that next. I have to finish the question. So get some high-level training, preferably in English, because most of the Hollywood films that will come to you, or the major films that will come to you in Indonesia. And listen, obviously you don't have to just work in Indonesia. I'm all about international work. I've shot in 10 countries myself, and I encourage my students to do that. I forgot to say hallelujah, Charlie Tony. Charlie's in the UK, and she got a feature that was shooting in Barbados. I'm dying to know how that went. But I'm always encouraging people to look outside of your hometown, outside of your state or province, and then outside of your country. There's some techniques on how to do that on those online talks. And it does involve some planning because you have to put together a package. You have to learn what visas are out there. I'm never paying for my own visa, meaning like production should be paying for your visa. But some people do get the kind of visa where they can stay in a country for 2 years or more and get multiple work. For me, it's been like if a production wants to hire me, then they pay for the permit, which is quite normal. Listen, they do it for other department heads. You've got to realize we're also a department head. And if the director wants to bring you, they will find the way to bring you. And it is not... it's not impossible. It's not even like slim chances. It's one of the positions that travels because a movie, especially if a movie shoots in multiple countries. So I was saying some of those, I was talking about Dora's testimonial. She's in Budapest. She said, I did a high-level course in English, and I ended up working with a director that my mentor worked with. It's true. I worked with David F. Sandberg on Shazam, and he went to Budapest to shoot a horror feature that was really personal to him. And he interviewed Dora, and he said, Daniela was my teacher. Of course, she got the job, not because I was her teacher, but like it was such a good, if you come to a new city as a director and you're interviewing people, and then someone you're interviewing trained with your script supervisor on the biggest movie you ever did, of course they're going to take that in, right? Sorry. Also, Dora's great. Like, there's no reason she wouldn't have gotten hired. Like, she's amazing. But that was a super cool thing. And then I have Letty Rojas in the Dominican Republic, who started to really expand her. She's worked in a whole bunch of countries now. So don't think of film as like just your town, because that's where we can get stuck. I'm just, and this is been the most fun I've had in a while. I created a new course called the Film Work Playbook. It's just a little mini course of, it's going to be like 5 hours. I say going to be because we're live in it now, like meaning I'm teaching it sort of 1 hour at a time. And we had our first class last week, and it was so much fun. We've got like, I much prefer shooting courses live, so I can like it's more kinetic. Like I can talk to someone. And so those recordings will be available. I mean, you can still join if you want to. We're in our second week, but those recordings will be available as pre-recorded, but it'll feel like I'm teaching it to you live. And that talks about how to book work anyway. Like if you want to stay in Indonesia and book work in Indonesia, how to source which Hollywood movies are coming, how you apply. You have to do some research, because I don't know Indonesia personally. Like I don't know that market. I do have a student there, and what she told me about the situation, you guys have to band together and separate the two departments, video playback and script supervision. Very, very shocking. And tell them most of the world doesn't operate that way for a reason. And, we all have to keep collectively like educating people about what we do and why they're not the same job. Do you feel a set PA should always come to the script supervisor for the official break? Okay. I think you're asking me about when we write times of the time of lunch and all that. where on every Hollywood movie or TV show I've done, they go by my time anyway. So meaning like the script supervisor is the one who writes that time on their daily progress report, and that goes in the DPR for a reason. It's because the AD department. Hi, Jessica. I put up the banner for tomorrow's convention. I'll put it up again at the end. But I told everyone about tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get a whole. But here, I'll put up the banner again. I put up the banner about Jessica's event, and here's also like the actual sign up link. I didn't put up that one. So this is for Jessica's Script Supervision convention tomorrow. So sorry, I interrupt myself 5 times. I know, it's maddening. So it's not. So should they always come to the script supervisor? The production is going to go by our time anyway. So I think you should. I mean, if you're the one who's reporting official, you have to go through the script supervisor. The reason they don't do it with the AD directly is because the AD directly represents the producer on set and the crew. And this is on union films I'm talking about. There's a bias there where they could fudge it by 1 minute the other way and save the meal penalty. So that's why they give it to the script supervisor to do, at least in North America, because it is we're seen as more objective. We're seen as like the objective, trustworthy party. So yes, absolutely, it's good. The crew rep is going to come to the script supervisor if the set PA is wrong anyway, and to avoid those disputes. So I want to make sure I answered Indonesia's question. Get the training in English, and make sure it's recognized training, and then source the work, whether it's where you live or in another country. Apply for the work, gain experience the same sort of way. So in the film work playbook, I'm taking a multi-level approach. It's not just here, apply for the jobs, because if you just apply for the jobs, that's not going to put you necessarily in the best overall light. So we talk about mindset in that program. It's a $97 program, by the way. It's not as expensive as my Director Whisperer program. The Director Whisperers get it free because they get all my other courses for free, but except for A-listers, we'll talk about that. But yeah, it's a multifaceted approach. So it's mindset, networking, the importance of building relationships and how to build relationships in this industry, which, by the way, you have to do no matter what country you're in. Indonesia, person from Indonesia, and then how to actually source work on multiple levels. So I come from a time before the internet. When I started in the film business, I had to find work without the internet. Now there's like so many added layers of how to find work using ChatGPT, using the internet, all of that. But back when I started, we had the trades, and you still have the trades. So trade magazines and other sources of information. So you have to have the right mindset in terms of having goals and knowing your worth and being confident. You have to build your network, and it starts one person at a time, and grow your network and maintain your network. Learn how to apply for work, and then have a strong resume. So in that course, I once did a couple of years ago, the Script Supervision resume workshop. I've put it into the film work playbook course because it's integral. I've had so many like brilliant script supervisors misrepresent themselves in their resume. It's shocking to me that they're applying for work with these resumes when their experience level is so much deeper, and they're just not highlighting like the projects in the way. So that's an important component. And then in that course, I do, we're doing like email templates, like templates of what to put in the email that you send with your resume. And what's our 5th piece? Oh yeah, and the 5th piece is working internationally. So I go a little bit deeper than in my YouTube talks about what exactly you need to do to set up. So for most of the world, to get a visa, you have to have a whole bunch of points. You have to have a whole bunch of things covered. So you want experience. So before you look for work internationally, usually you start looking for work in your country first, or in any country that you can work in, because people forget, oh yeah, I could get my Portuguese passport, my EU passport, whatever. And so think about all the places where you can legally work, source the work, do the work, build the network. It's one show at a time, one person at a time, always. But there's ways to fast track it. And that's what that mini course is about, Film Work Playbook. I think I talked about it before, but so I must have a link up. I'm pretty sure the link is bit.ly/filmwork playbook. Okay, so did I cover all the questions? Am I missing any questions? Did I cover all the questions? And I know you sent me the DM. I'll look at it, Indonesia, but just know I've got like a lot going on right now. By the way, the last couple of weeks I've been, so a couple of years ago, I used to do sort of weekly talks on Zoom that you would register for, which I started up again a couple of weeks ago. I did the Finding Your Voice on a Film Set talk. And So production, I have to answer this question. Would you say that the department of the script supervisor is an entry-level position? N, because you're on Instagram, N-O, for many reasons. And the first reason is we're literally a department head. In most of the world, most countries in the world, we are a department head. So that's not an entry level, not an entry level position. You need to understand what the director does, what the actor does, what writers are doing, plus the editing, of course. We are literally the editor's representative on set. So there's a whole bunch that we need to know as a baseline, even before we step into the role. And I know people step into the role before they know that. Then they get overwhelmed and crash and burn. It's a huge department. You'll see me, you can see it on my YouTube channel. I have a lot of talks about this very topic. And I always say, don't start as a PA. You can start as a script supervisor if you get the full training, because that's what these comprehensive training programs are about. Get the full training, because you're stepping onto set as a department head. It's a lot of responsibility, not only as any department head, but usually, and this is changing, we are a department of one, so you can't like work your way up. My students in the UK, luckily, can sometimes get opportunities to be a trainee or an assistant script supervisor. But in most of the world, until that changes, I've only had an assistant in Toronto twice. And I ask almost every single time, because most shows have enough complexity to require an assistant. So twice I've had an assistant in Toronto. And I have a couple of YouTube videos about that as well. But so you're starting as a department head, probably in a department of one, and you're the one who's talking to the director all day. So that's a lot of responsibility. You can make or break a show. You can make or break the experience of a show for a director. So guys, just be prepared, right? Learn your craft, learn your craft. It's an endless learning. I'm still learning about my craft, right? I work in now I'm also a screenwriter and a story editor, but I'm still a script supervisor, and I bring everything I learn. I'm also a union actor, by the way. Bring all that into the role, right? All of that, because it all helps. It's like you never stop learning. You keep getting better and better. One of my students called it the Department of Cinematic Intelligence, which made me laugh, but it's true. You have to have so much knowledge, and you have to be able to edit in your head. There's a clip from my course that I put on YouTube called How Script Supervisors Visualize the Edit. Editing in your head is such a huge skill to have. And unless you're stepping onto the floor having been an editor, because that's one way you can step onto the floor in that role without as much training as needed. But you still need to train in what the actors do and what the director does. But you can do a reasonable job if you've just been an editor. So, and I don't just editing is a big job, but because we're often the only one or one of the 2 or 3 people, like the DOP and the director, who are editing in our heads as we're shooting. And look at me, I'm Italian. Look, I'm just editing in our heads. So huge thing. And it's not something you can step on. I'm not saying you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start somewhere. I've had students do a show, crash and burn, and then go, oh, I better get training because I actually like this job. I just don't want to crash and burn like that again. So then they do the training and they go, oh. And so whoever you train with, just please avoid these things, because our job is directly tied to if you see there's an old school job description from 2001 2000 that I found on the 871 website in Los Angeles. You have to use the Wayback Machine to find it because it's not up there anymore. But it was our job description, and it said script supervisors provide cost containment for the producer. What? When I read that, I was like, oh my God, mind blown. Of course, we're providing cost containment because we're weighing, we got to fix as much as we can, or, troubleshoot as much as we can in prep and onset, try to get those cutting points, enough cutting points for the editor that they're not trapped in the edit, or that they, God forbid, can't edit it at all. So we're fixing all that stuff, which increases the production value of the film, but we have to do it in a way that we're not impeding on the day. We still have to get our day. Do you think a set PA isn't the way to start? What department is the way to enter, begin? So I train people to begin as script supervisors. Why would you work? There's nothing to work your way up to unless in your town they have the option of being an assistant script supervisor, which is in a couple of places in the world. So far, you would have to start as a script supervisor. Starting as a PA is only going to delay. It might be, I have had people in commercials. So script supervisors in commercials specifically, being a PA is actually a good way in, because usually you're working for the production company directly, and they're taking you from commercial to commercial. Union films and stuff, they don't work like that to the same degree. Oh, the director whisperer course fee you make back in 3 days of work. Yes, that's right. Yes, okay. I mean, that was kind of my, like, that was supposed to be a price that was going to be like a temporary price point. And it still is a temporary price point. I am going to bring it up to a normal price eventually, but we've had such bad years in the industry. I was like, I'm not going to raise the price. There's no way I'm going to raise the price right now. I guaranteeing this price till January 4th. But she's right. It's literally like, it used to be even lower, and script supervisors would message me privately and say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like you're really giving it all away for, like, because I used to charge a day of work for it. That's a day and a half for me, like union work. Okay, so yeah, so no, get training and start as a script supervisor. Why would you do it any other way? There's not really another way to do it. And by the way, to your point about, is this an entry-level position? I have had students in other countries tell me, so if you see the testimonial I did with Yorgos is one of my students in Athens, and he said there in Greece, it's a department, the director's department has 3 people in it: script supervisor, first AD, and director, and that's the department. And script supervisor is considered the entry level to the directing department, which in some ways is kind of cool, but it makes no sense. It makes no sense, because obviously our job the job of the first AD is completely different to our job, completely different, right? And also completely different to the directors. In fact, script supervisors, in many ways, I know in Europe it's done a little bit differently, where the first AD does overlap with directing a little more, but in North America and most of the world, the script supervisor's role, I would argue, overlaps with the director's role a lot more, which is the reason a whole bunch of alumni actually became directors of mine, because I teach you guys to think like the director, so that the director will go, oh my God, you really get me, you're really supporting me, and then bring you on to their next movie, and hopefully their movie in Italy, like Paul Feig did with me. I was so lucky to work on A Simple Favor last year. Funny, eh? Like these past few crazy years, I've had some of the best projects of my life as a script supervisor. I kept saying, no, I'm going to retire. And then some like incredible project comes along and I'm just drawn back in, you guys. What time is it? Oh, we're doing good. We have like 11 more minutes. Good questions, actually. Hi, Inks and Diaries. Does anyone have other questions? I wanted to tell you guys, oh yeah, I was saying, I did this talk, I did one of those Zoom talks like 2 or 3 weeks ago called Finding Your Voice on a Film Set. Paul was, yes, Paul, and I worked with a bunch of directors from the office. Well, I worked with Greg Daniels. I did script for him on People of Earth. Our friend who just popped in at the beginning, Kebrava, was on People of Earth as well. But I came in for Greg Daniels' episode. It was so... I loved it because comedy is much, if you worked on The Office, you know, comedy is much harder than, and I'm a comedy script supervisor. So I worked with Greg Daniels before I worked with Paul. And then I worked with, what was his name? Was it Aaron? It began with an A. One of the writers from The Office was one of our exec. It was your show for 8 years. Yeah. And so by the time I met Paul, I had already had all those, and we had some of the actors from The Office on People of Earth. So when I interviewed with Paul and I said, look, I'm a comedy script supervisor, he's like, I make script supervisors cry. And I slammed the table and went, bring it. Because like I will go to the wall for comedy. It's my everything, right? And so we got along right away. But the fact that I had worked with a bunch of his friends helped a lot. And then when we worked together, it was like, it's just one of those teams that where like, so he's asked me to come to almost every single show that he could since then. I couldn't get permitted I mean, I have been permitted in the US. In fact, I got the permit for his show. What is it? This country. He did this show in North Carolina. I got the work permit for that, but that was right 2 days later. They pulled the plug because of COVID. So I couldn't go to that. But then finally I was reunited with him on A Simple Favor too, because I was in Italy where I happened to have a passport. So that was easy. That was an easy one for him. But anyway, yes, if you become integral to the director's process, and that's why it's called the Director Whisperer training program. That it was, I think that was one of the ways I was finally able to, because I was telling people in the Find Your Voice talk, the first 8 years were kind of rocky for me, as I don't want them to be as rocky for anyone else, which is why I try to train people to compress the pain, meaning eliminate most of the pain and just get it out quite early, so that you're not spending years kind of going, who am I, questioning your existence and questioning your role in the film industry. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Finding Your Voice, I did an edited version and posted it on YouTube. So if you were at that talk, I obviously when you go into my Zoom talks that are private, I name names, I tell stories that I shouldn't be telling online. So I cut all those out. I at least got rid of the names to protect the guilty. And I've got the edited version of Finding Your Voice on YouTube. It's funny, I wasn't going to post it. And then Irena, that was another hallelujah. Irena is one of my students in Zagreb/Belgrade. She goes back and forth between the two. And her hallelujah was that her first feature won Best New Feature at the Venice Film Festival. So her first feature as a script supervisor. So that was a really good hallelujah. But Irena, why did I bring up Irena? She said, oh my God, Finding Your Voice was such a good talk. And I went, really? Because I felt like I had been rusty because I was, I just wrapped my show and I was exhausted. Thank you, Irena, for saying that, because then I cut it, I edited it, and I posted it on YouTube. In a couple of weeks or less, I'll edit the other one I did, which was called The A-Lister Mindset. Someone asked me, what's the difference between your students who have average careers and the ones who get to the A-list? A-list can mean the literal A-list, like a bunch of my students, but it doesn't have to literally mean that. There should be a producer whisperers program. If you hook a producer on a gig, they will also recommend you to their directors. That's hilarious. That's really, really sweet, Farah. I love that. I'm going to take that and run with it, and I'll do a talk about that. That's really funny. Hi, Virginie. I gave you a shout out. Oh, hi, Robin. I gave Virginie, I gave you a shout out, a hallelujah, at the beginning of this talk. So I was just telling our friend who worked on The Office for 8 years we were talking about Paul Feig. I can't remember why. Oh yeah, because I guess were you at PA on that show? Won't happen in LA. Which part won't happen in LA? Wait, which part? We've talked about so much. Oh, getting to the A-list? It will absolutely happen in LA, because LA has A-list films, and they still do. Like my friend. I interviewed Ronit Ravich-Boss, who is in LA, and she did the studio. She's been an A-lister for years. When she immigrated to the United States from Israel, she became an A-list script supervisor pretty much immediately. Hi, Alexia. Hope all is well with you. Yeah, my mom, I have to go see her after this. She's in the hospital. Thank you for saying that. Hi, Cody. So if A-listers won't happen in LA, it will absolutely happen in LA. In fact, some of my best students are in LA right now. It's been hard. I know you guys have had it hard. I talk about that in the last two, in Finding Your Voice and in the A-listers talk. But it's a great place to live. Although, as I not jokingly say, you're unfortunately, I hate the word competing, because I have an abundant mindset. I try to teach an abundant mindset where we don't think of jobs as limited, but you're competing for work with Nepo babies, right? Well, with children, sorry, Nepo babies. So, some Nepo babies are perfectly nice, but yeah, they have an advantage. And I would say 90% of the world's Nepo babies either live in LA or New York. So You have a lot more in prep since, yes, exactly. I know it comes back. Producer director training wouldn't happen. You have a grad on the studio. No, I don't have a grad on the studio. She's my peer. Ronit Ravich Boss is someone I interviewed on my channel. No, she's not a grad. She's my peer. I actually met her because I was doing the Toronto unit of one of her movies, which is Murder Mystery 2. And I said, oh my God, can I interview you for my channel? Because she is a comedy script supervision goddess. She did Superbad, for example. She's done like a ton. No. She's based in LA since she moved to the US. Producer director training wouldn't happen. You have to, I don't understand actually what that means, what you're saying. Yes, I know the work has come back because obviously, even when LA was quote unquote dead, I still had a lot of people working there. Obviously on lower budget things, but the truth is, even when LA is dead, it's in comparison to the number of script supervisors and crew members there. I have students in I was going to say something really nasty. I have students in the middle of nowhere. I was going to say something terrible. Yeah, you worked with Ronit, right? She's a legend and a goddess. But anyway, so the people who work in really remote parts of the country, they have a harder time finding work at all times than LA people do at the worst of times. That's not to downplay the pain that LA has been going through, because yes, it has been an extreme amount of pain. But to survive it, you have to have a strong mindset, and you also have to diversify, and you also have to look for work, let's face it, outside of LA, because the work this is a global industry. But I'm also super happy that the work is coming back to LA. When LA is healthy, we're all healthy as an industry. And that's the truth. For, having seen ups and downs of the industry for 35 years, the industry is stronger when LA is strong, and that's always going to be the case. But that doesn't mean that you give up when the work leaves LA temporarily, because it doesn't fully leave LA. There's still a good baseline of work. What else do I want to tell you guys? You guys know about my A-listers program. You don't have to be a graduate of the Director Whisperer program, but it is for people at higher levels in the industry who just want coaching from me, not craft stuff. So Director Whisperer is a mix of craft and strategy applicable to script supervisors in the first decade of their career. It goes quite deep. It's not only training for getting you on the floor to work as a key. You can be super experienced. I've had people with over 20 years in that program. But, someone wrote, Ethan, I'm new here. What would be the best way to become a trainee script supervisor in Ireland? Oh my God, I have worked as a script supervisor on 2 indie shorts as a script supervisor. So Ethan, I love that Ireland has that you have the ability to do that. Cody, I cannot add you on. We've had this discussion before. Also, I'm in the middle of this talk, so I can't add you because also I'm about to finish this talk. But hi, I'm so happy to see you. Anyway, always happy to see you. So I have worked as a script. So in Ireland, okay. Ireland, the Irish are very lucky in that you have this system where you can get work as a trainee. So I actually have some Toronto people who are on Irish. I have an Irish citizen who moved to Toronto and just moved back to Ireland. And I have a Toronto citizen who has a visa to work in Ireland. And she landed in the middle of, when was it? Emily, and she landed, I think, in August. She got work right away, like really covering second unit. So you got a network, obviously. So you have to get to know the script supervisors who can bring you on into that position. And have you trained, Ethan? Make sure you have good level training, because even my students in the UK who work on really good projects as a trainee, even when you're a trainee on set, they don't have time to train you in all the zillion things that I talked about. Like, we have to understand director's process, aside from everything else we have to know about our paperwork, workflow, our on-set workflow, all of that. I call it workflow mojo, our workflow mojo. They don't have time to train you in all of that, especially the pace you guys go at in Ireland and the UK, where you guys have 9 or 10-hour days. I mean, listen, we go at a heavy pace too, but we have 12 to 16-hour days. So yes, exactly. There are quite a few shows that do second unit in Ireland. Ireland has a really good tax incentive, and they have a really good crews. I've shot in Ireland on 2 movies. It was in the 90s, but I would love to go back. I can go back. I'm a European citizen. look out, Ireland, I'm coming. No, I loved working in Ireland. It's a very excellent place to shoot. The other thing you guys might not realize about Ireland is that they have sunlight till 11 p.m. in the summer. So it's wild. Sorry, was it 11 p.m.? It was really late in the summer. I was shooting there in summer. Anyway, Ethan, so network, find out who's out there. Go to meetups, message people directly. And tea breaks, yes, they have a breakfast truck to die for. You guys have breakfast trucks in LA, but we don't really in Toronto. I mean, we do sometimes, but it's not guaranteed. You've done a small bit of shadowing under a script supervisor. Amazing. That's really, really good. So you've done some shadowing, but not some full training. In your shadowing, did you get a sense of like how to do the work? I constantly get told that people prefer to have someone who's trained so that they're only filling in the training rather than doing the full training. Farah, that's right. So Farah is one of the director whisperers in Montreal, and Farah is also working on a project in post with an Irish team. So yes. We have, and so the person in Ireland is Emily Drake. If you DM me, I'll connect you to Emily. So and the other person is, oh my God, I'm just blanking on your name. It begins with a K. I'm so blanking on your name. I'm so sorry. The other person who came to Toronto from Ireland, I can connect you to them. Just DM me. But it helps if you're trained. That's just a lot less work for the person to do. But yeah, and make connections. And there's a long answer, but that's the answer I give in the Film Work Playbook. Hi, Allison. Dragonfly, is Mary Cebulski's Beyond Continuity a good reference? Oh, sure it is. Yeah. When I started, there was Pat P. Miller's book, and that was a great reference at the time. Mary Cebulski's is more thorough. Absolutely. Jessica says, get a course, then find traineeships. That's true. There are some official traineeships in the countries that have script trainees and paid internships. Find those, because that's the most ideal way to learn while you're getting paid, right? Many of us won't take on trainees who are clueless. Well, yeah, right. It's too stressful. Hi, Alice. It's too stressful to start someone from scratch and do the kind of job we have to do. 5:03. Okay, I should go soon. Remember, I'll post Jessica's link again. So Jessica's doing an international convention for script supervisors. Here's the link to the event, and then she's got a sign up link on that event page. And I had posted the sign up. What's PAbootcamp.com? Oh, is that the? You can discuss. What is it called? Affiliate opportunities with me. I'm an affiliate for different people who have different courses, and I'm open to it. I just have to know that they're solid, right? I would imagine they're solid, but PA Bootcamp, some people, like some of my friends, I'm an affiliate for my friend in LA, David H. Lawrence, who does voice work courses. He's a brilliant voiceover artist. So yes, you can contact me for affiliate stuff, but I don't just post links up randomly. Jessica is one of my most esteemed alumni. I mean, all my alumni are esteemed, but Jessica is a superstar. So I'm not getting any, I mean, it's a free conference. It doesn't cost anything. So I'm not getting a kickback. Hi, Coffee. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to mention, so look at Finding Your Voice. The edit is up on my YouTube channel. Check out my program if you're interested. Here we go. Here's the link for my program. bit.ly/script supervisor will lead you to the Director Whisper course page if that's something you are interested in. I'm shrinking under my banner. Yeah, on Instagram, can't see it, but I'll post it it's in the link tree. It's in the link tree. Coming up on November 9th, I do an annual cohort of no more than 20. Last year we had 9. This year, I'd like to have also 10. We have 4 so far, but I won't take more than 20 script supervisors at one of the breakthrough levels of their career. And it's a year of coaching to help me help you get there. So the breakthrough levels, I like the Director Whisperer program, I think covers the first 3 breakthrough levels, which is getting you to that first feature credit, getting you to a level where you're working in the union, and then getting you to the A-list. The Director Whisperer program cover you up to those 3. The A-listers program starts with people getting from union or HETV or like high level work, because some countries don't have unions, up to A-list work. That I can certainly help you in that through coaching. In Director Whisperer, I do it through craft with some coaching and some strategy talk, but A-listers is all coaching, 5 weeks of coaching, mostly on mindset, which is the biggest thing we have to get over. And then a monthly small group mastermind and coaching with everyone in the class, and then 3 private sessions with me. That one, it costs less than Director Whisper because it's my second year teaching it. So that one is $697 US. And there's payment plans. And I've got 4 people in it so far, really, really strong people. It's an international course. So reach out to me for that. You have to pre-interview for that, because the other breakthrough levels are if you're on the A list or not, but you're progressing to, you know, transitioning to directing, producing, writing, something a next level thing from script. I can coach you through that. And then the 5th level I call retiring gracefully. I'm still learning that myself. But like, sometimes people need help retiring gracefully, being able to give themselves some source of peace and passive income and all that, which I have been training people on how to earn money online for a few years now. And I specialize in film workers because we have very special situations where the industry goes like this. Anyway, if you're interested in any of, do I have a banner? Wait, do I have a banner for, I have all these banners. It's in my, okay, I don't have one for the A-listers in my banner pre-made list, but it's in my link tree. I will be posting the talk called The A-Lister Mindset on my YouTube channel sometime in the next week. Okay, guys, Filmwork Playbook. We're back at it tomorrow. So Jessica, I'm teaching Filmwork Playbook tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to head over to your convention. The conference is free, says Jessica. Sign up. It's for the good of everyone globally. Would love to see more globals. Very US heavy on registration right now. So the person who tuned in from Indonesia, if it's at a time, it might not be at a time where you can get there, but that would be really interesting for you. It's always like really eye-opening. Oh, and yes, the scholarship. I will announce it more officially on December 1st, but if you are tuning in from a third world country or even from LA and you need financial help, you just apply for that scholarship, okay? Sometimes I can't give enough people who deserve that full scholarship, but I could at least offer you a partial scholarship in that case. I'm only supposed to give away 3. Last year I gave away 6 full scholarships, and I can't remember how many. I think it was 9 partial scholarships. So don't be afraid to apply. But most people will find that it is it's one of the more affordable courses out there, and there are payment plans that make it even more reasonable. Thank you. Oh my God, for being so kind. It's, of course, we're a whole global nation of script supervisors, and it only benefits all of us to talk to each other and to be friends and to support each other, okay? And that is the biggest thing I can tell you about longevity in this business. So do reach out to me, and you can always email me at mondocinema@gmail.com. Do I have that banner? You can always email me at my email address. Anyway, mondocinema@gmail.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and let me know if you have any topic requests. You'll find me posting more talks on YouTube than I have in the past because my series is over, and I'll probably be not back to set probably until January or February. So yeah, thanks, everyone, and I'll see everyone in Director Whisper next week. Bye. Wow, it's like sitting on this live for you guys saw me turn off Instagram. Here we go. Let's see. End stream.